We continue with our mid-year flip through and reviews with Oak Meadow's Civic course. This is designated for grade 8, but I'll tell you of any flexibilities that you may be able to do as well. So stick around with me and let's talk civics.
Foggy mornings are where I begin. Conversations I can never win, but it's not a competition. Though if it was,
Welcome to be brand new to my channel. My name is Arlene with Arlene & Company. As I said before, we're going to go over Oak Meadow Civic course. This is part of the grade 8 bundle, but you can actually purchase this separately. So stick around with me. This was sent to me in exchange for my honest review, but you know that we are no strangers to Oak Meadow. If you're interested in previous videos from all kinds of grades, let me know down below if you have any difficulty finding it, and I'll link it for you, but it's also in the description box below under our playlist. Anything that's under grade 6 will be housed in my Instagram page, where we used to have IGTV, which is not that anymore. Why? I don't understand why. But anything below that, so the elementary years will be on that, including pre-K. Even though we were outside of that range, they did send it to me. They wanted me to take a look at it and see what I thought about it, and I shared a review on it. It's really fantastic. I love the whole vibe, and it kind of really attaches to that Waldorf inspired thing. But we have this. I will be reviewing grade 7 in the near future, the newest edition, and then I'll have my 9th grader courses for you, which I've already ordered to share with you as well in the future. So make sure you hit that notification bell if you are a returning subscriber. If not, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell. All right, housekeeping is done. Let's get to it. When you purchase the Civics, if you're purchasing it by itself, you're gonna do the teacher manual and the course book. I will show you the difference and why I still feel that you need the teacher manual. That's my personal preference and stuff. You may not feel like it. I just feel like they go hand in hand and really helps you become a stronger educator or sidekick, whatever it may be at this stage for you. All right, so we are going to go over the course book first, and then I'll go into the teacher manual. And there's a method to my madness of why I do this. I did refer you back, which is still in my community tab, from, and I'll flash the name, I'm horrible with handles, flash the name here. I really wanted you guys to take a look at a perspective or feedback for coming from an attorney. And she's an attorney, she's a homeschooler, and she has done civics before I did, and I've been referring people over to look at her video on it because I feel like her insights are, you know, obviously are colored with a different lens, and it's so valuable. So I really encourage you to view that as well as you're looking at these different courses. All right, but I am going to show you this from someone that's not on a mid-year review, so we're midway through it, and you know, obviously we have enough under our belt to form an opinion. All right, so here you will see the table of contents. Now once you get used to the format of Oak Meadow, it's going to follow you through high school and everything. Where the format it changes a little bit is from under 4th grade. So from 3rd grade under, the format is a little bit different, but you still have that table of information for the parent or educator and such at the beginning. However, there is a lot of combining subjects in under 4th grade. Well, no, 4th and 5th still has a couple of combined classes as well. These are standalone at this point. From 6th grade on, each course is self-contained, but they do marry each other, so they kind of make sense together. I have shown you how I have combined a lot of our literature component in ELA. Not only has she done the Oak Meadow grade 8 English, which I recently reviewed and showed you guys, but also how we combine certain topics with CommonLit. For example, we just did a unit where the starting discussion point was revenge ever justified, and I thought that was, you know, such a great lesson to tie things together, especially as we have been diving into civics. I am going to show you how I translate this into main lesson blocks, but that's going to be a video in itself, just to let you know how we block things off and use a main lesson block Waldorf inspired framework. On here, you're going to be divided into units. The first unit is good citizenship. Then you have building community, foundations of government. Then you have political systems, media influence and news literacy, and they do have a course for media literacy and stuff in high school level as well. Civic involvement, and then you have your appendix. As you can see, and you can also see, one of the really great things about Oak Meadow is that they provide you with an extensive amount of sample pages so you can really get a good feel for it and even try a couple of lessons and see if it's a right fit for you. Now with Oak Meadow, if this is the first video that you're watching with Oak Meadow, this is not structured in a way that you may be used to. It's not going to say day 1 do this, day 2 do that. There is a lot of open-endedness, but still structure, and giving your child autonomy to choose which projects or hands-on or return demonstration they want to do. So we'll get into that as well. It starts from the very, beginning concepts of what is civics. Now, what I really enjoy about this one, it's secular. It's very difficult to find a civics higher level course that is secular. There is a couple, there is a few, but there was hardly any a few years ago. But the way that they've done it here, I really appreciate. So we start from the basic, what is civics, if they've never even touched on that in elementary school. Most of us have with social studies and such. Going into the qualities of good citizenship, I'm going to just, kind of bounce around. Career options, setting goals, action and consequences. One of the things that they had that they kind of related to real life is having a child write out their household budget. Like they took the reign, or my daughter took the reign and did a whole spreadsheet of doing a household budget, and how that translated from the civic course into something that a real life scenario as well. This course does encourage a lot of research involvement from the student, and it also encourages seeking those primary sources themselves and building from that. So one of the things I do enjoy about this course is the way that is teaching the child how to learn. How to further learn things, and just not everything is not given to them, but ways to seek information, and that is something that is translated from year to year to year. All right, so the normal Oak Meadow of information of what it means. Now in these levels, it's written directly to the child, and that happens from 4th grade on as well. So it's gearing up from 4th grade, higher elementary, to further out. It's gearing up for giving your child more autonomy and independence. If you're working with a younger child, they will be able to get started because they can read it. It's written directly to them. Then you have the course material. This is, this is a full year course, so you can have it divided into 36 lessons. So that would be a whole school year. We do not structure it that way because, again, we do it in main lesson blocks, which means we do more lessons in a shorter span of time, so we can switch off every 3 weeks from this main lesson block with just tying in the English language arts to the social studies, and then we switch off and tie in our ELA with our science and go from there. So every 3 weeks we switch off. All right, and that's our main lesson blocks this year have been 3 to 4 weeks long. So in that time, because we're not touching or normal amount of touching of science, we're consuming much more on this on social studies and diving in. So kind of like a block schedule, but still like a little bit sprinkle of Waldorf inspired. This is going to go over how these are set up. So you're going to have learning objectives. You have the readings that is assignments and are outlined to you. You have the reflect and discuss part. You have assignments. Then up for a challenge, if a child is advanced or someone that is seeking to, do more with this, then they can. Then you have a learning checklist, which I really love, and then there's some information for enrolled students. You can enroll and have a teacher back you up from Oak Meadow and stuff like that. That's a whole other arena, but if you're interested in knowing about that. So here you have the opening of a unit, and it will have like a quote to go along with it and just to get something started. This is how your lessons are set up, and I'm just going to skip on. So I'm going to skip on and I'm going to show you a couple lessons, right? So this one is a combined lesson 11 and 12 because this is a huge topic, right? And this is something that is going to go over 2 weeks. Now each lesson is as is written without you doing any tweaking. Each lesson is meant to be done over a week. All right, obviously there's flexibility with that. As I said, we do things as a main lesson block, which means we're doing this every single day. So we're fitting more in, right? So, but each lesson is a week. So when you see a lesson number, that is what it means, right? You have the learning objectives here. And again, it's speaking directly to the child. So at the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify key aspects of a court case, articulate the opposing sides of an issue, provide mediation to resolve an issue. On here, and just, you know, for the next 2 weeks, you'll be exploring another landmark, United States Supreme Court. They're going to be looking at real cases and stuff. And obviously a lot of those like primary sources will be very difficult for a lot of kids to understand and stuff, but they're not meant to like understand all of it. And there's ways to, you know, to look like, you know, a summary or translation, like what did this really mean? Again, this is like building their research skills and looking at primary sources, and also learning how to seek more information for themselves so they can better understand it. But obviously with my daughter, she's not like completely on her own with these things, so we are like co-teams right here. All right, so assignment summary here, you're gonna have, we never write on this because my youngest inherits these levels, and then after that we pass it on to a local family of whoever, you know, we want to surprise with. All right, so then assignment summary on here on the side, they can know all these little check boxes if they are writing their own schedule, which a lot of kids at this stage may be able to do, or if you're doing it for them as your lesson planning. Right here is the bullet points of what they're going to be doing in the next week or two. So you can go ahead and plot those points in your lesson planner, or however you want to go ahead and do it. So here, for example, you're going to learn about landmark court cases, complete a landmark case, you know, differing opinions, write a summary of the court's decision and your opinion of it, give an opinion of an emotional issue, express the position of the opposing side, complete weighing two sides of an issue, create a mediation plan to help resolve the issue. Now, some of these things may be choices, not like they're doing absolutely everything. And keep in mind that Oak Meadow is very, it can be very rigorous. Yes, it is Waldorf inspired, and people have a false thinking that, oh, Waldorf inspired is just going to be like, oh, it's just loosey-goosey and all that stuff. And it's not. Like in the earlier years, yes, because the academics is not pushed as much, but once you get in it, especially in even a purist Waldorf curricula, they are pretty rigorous. I mention this because you really do have the freedom to edit things out. Like if you feel like this is too much, too many assignments, too many things or whatever, you have the freedom to edit it out. They will still get the major concept of it. They will still get a rich education, even if you don't do every single little thing. So that's one of the things I want to you know, make sure I pass on, because they are very heavy on the writing as well. And if you feel like they just have way too many writing assignments going on, feel free to cut it down, especially if you're using multiple subjects from Oak Meadow. All right, so on here you see this is the civic debate that it asks you to, you know, landmark cases assignment. So choose a case and read a summary. You can easily find the online or library and all that stuff. Now they do have curriculum links. Not every lesson is going to have a link, but they do have that you can actually view before you even purchase under the grade. So you go ahead into the grade 8th, then you go under the course, the civics course, and then you go into the specific lesson and see what curriculum links that may enhance that week's lesson or that may be helpful for you. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's just a website, it can be various things, and that is, you know, a really nice added bonus that we have used throughout the years. I love having those curriculum links straight that has been prepared by Oak Meadow themselves. And then here, as you can see, like once you have read a summary of the case and the decision, complete a landmark case, differing opinions, and then this is what you're talking about here. Now this, I just go ahead and like photocopy, or she just like actually most of the time she just draws it on her notebook or main lesson book, and just does her own interpretation of it. So again, we do not write on the books, but you very easily. So here, read through the following list of cases and decide by the United States that are decided by the United States Supreme Court. After the name of the case, you'll see the year and that was decided by the court and how the Supreme Court justice voted. So this teaches them obviously how to, read them, how, when they're looking online, what they're looking for, and how to research it, obviously. Then here they have their assignments number. So instead of saying day 1 do this, day 2 do that, you have like number 1, choose and read the summary. So they can go in that order, and then I will tell you that sometimes my daughter goes out of order depending if she wants to knock something out that she feels is more involved first, or she wants to get like all the easier things done first. And so you may, like if it doesn't like build on each other, she may go out of order. So you see for here, number 2, once you've read a summary of the case and decision, complete this. And then number 3, write a brief summary of the decision or opinion about one direct quote from the decision in your explanation. Make sure you put the quote in quotation marks, reminding them of those grammar elements, because this is not an English course, but it also re-enhances those things that they're learning over on the English side if you're doing the OM English as well. Then here you have the assignments. So here is assignment 1. Then again, this is a more meatier one because this is meant for 2 weeks. All right, so but let me show you. And then you have these nice, I really like how they have like these templates in here for you. You also have a learning checklist, but we'll go back to that in a bit. So let me show you a week that is just 1 week. So here for, I like to go at different points of the year just so you can see, you start with less and then it builds on, from there. So, all right, so let's do lesson 19, voting rights and responsibilities. Again, you're going to see the learning objectives, what you're going to be reading, and that is going to be part in there right here. So here, for example, securing the right to vote. Securing the right to vote here is what they're referenced to. So everything is in the same book, in this same course book. Obviously you're going to look outside of this course book, you're going to be doing research online and books or whatever it may be, but everything is contained in this course book for them. So here is going to say amending the Constitution to extend the voting rights is the next thing you're going to have to read, and that's going to be right here. And this sometimes is a couple pages, sometimes it's 1 page, and sometimes it's just not much at all. So the reading elements is kind of like everything is a textbook, self-contained in here. Now in high school they do use several courses do have a textbook attached to it, but then it's translated into the Oak Meadow way of how they want you to explore it. Again, you have the assignments, so answer the following questions. You will have to do some research to find the answer. Again, this is a very meaty course. I would not even be afraid to use this Oak Meadow Civics course that is slotted for grade 8 with even a 9th grader. This is definitely meaty enough to get that additional credit. Assignment summary, obviously look at your your regular, look at your state laws or wherever you are. Here you have complete the reading selections, answer questions relating to voting rights, explain rights granted in certain constitutional amendments, create a graph related to voter turnout, complete an assignment related to your voter participation, and then you go from there. Now here, for example, if you have a child that is gifted, advanced, or just well driven and they want to do more with it, maybe they are just really enjoying this and they want to do something more, then you can look at these little boxes. It says up for additional assignment. Here is the learning checklist, and this is something that the child can evaluate themselves, and then you can go back and see where they think they're going, or you can do this with them. For examples, and this is going to be after every single week. So here is for lesson 19, explain rights granted by constitutional amendments related to voting rights. Am I developing this skill? Am I consistent? Am I competent or not? This is just to see how you're progressing. It's like a self-awareness, knowing like what areas you lack. I like to do these not like with my daughter by herself or my son. I like to do this with them and ask them how confident they feel, and then we can go from there and evaluate that. All right, so you have that there. And like I said, some of these things will have a list of assignment, and some, you see, you have the following questions, and some will have choices. So you can, research one of these special interest groups or choose one of the following assignments. So it is not always like a whole bunch of stuff and they have to do everything. And even if it's listed a whole bunch of stuff, you can edit out. Like you really can without missing the major points. So here, for example, choose one of the following assignments. So you can choose A or B, write a letter to either representative or senator telling them how you feel about one of the issues mentioned in assignment 3, argue convincingly for or against the issue using the sound of reasoning and evidence. You do not have to mail a copy of the letter to the individual whom is addressed unless you really like to. So, they just point that out. Here is research one of the special interest groups listed below. So, if they don't feel like, they're ready for assignment A, they can choose this assignment and then they can go from there. But there is other points that they're doing. So let's say you have a lot going on with the other subjects and you just want to leave this alone. Say, based upon what you know about the community, what do you think are some of the local needs and such on. So these are also going to cover the major theme of the week. So if you feel like, okay, we can do without this assignment, you definitely can. Again, you also have these up for a challenge. Learn more about the U.S. president, which U.S. president appears on money, bills, or coins, who is the oldest and youngest, and such, and then it gives you a way to go on a rabbit trail. All right, so this is how this course is set up, and it continues on. All right, so in the appendix, they're going to have some tools that they can go ahead and reference throughout the year. Founding documents of the United States, they're going to have a copy of the Declaration of Independence, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and so on. Then academic expectation is also, I will show you a little bit about that. Original work, citing your sources. So if you're not doing English with Oak Meadow, that is something that citing the sources that comes up for sure in grade 6. I believe it's the first time I see it, but maybe it was in grade 5 too. I don't remember, but citing your sources, if you have not taken a course that has covered that, then they're going to go over it here because it's pertinent to that, because you're going to go ahead and dive into a lot of research. Then plagiarism, all that is going to be covered on here, and I do appreciate how those are a reminder because sometimes it's just not conscious. All right, so here again you have the original documents and Constitution, articles, Bill of Rights, and the amendments. So it's all at their fingertips. Everything is right here. And especially if you just don't want them doing everything online and stuff like that, they have it right here, or it's just easier for a kiddo to look at it in print versus having to look at it on a website or stuff like that. And that's for sure is my daughter, so I do appreciate that it has that all included here. So here, like you said, academic expectations. So if this is something like your first child that is in upper middle school going into high school and you're not really sure what you should be expecting from them, this is an area that is good for you. But also this is told directly to the child. So assignment instruction, be sure to read all assignment carefully and in full. Often students miss a part of the assignment and so on for glancing too quickly. Anyways, it just points out normal things that kiddos may go through: revision, editing, and proofreading, formatting, label your work, and so on and so on. So it goes over those good study habits and just being a good student, finding reputable sources, citing your sources, and things like that. So let me show you the teacher manual real quick. So this is going to have basically a copy of what you see here. Now this book is much thinner than your course book. This is the course book is what the student gets, and this is your teacher manual. You're going to see a copy of the table of contents here, which is like a brief overview instead of the whole breakdown that you see. So here you just see the lesson name and not the individual categories that is under each lesson. So that's one thing. And then you have an introduction as you as a teacher. Then you have a copy of what your student is seeing. So this is the same thing we went over. This is why I show you the course book first. And now here, what you see in orange is examples of what kind of responses you're looking for to these assignments or questions, reflect and discuss and stuff like that. And so it's gonna have right here is what they see, and this is what you'll be looking for. Student will find relevant, reliable news sources. So even if it's something like it's a research or open-ended, it's telling you as a teacher what you should be expecting from them, and then you can modify that based on your unique needs. But that is throughout, and if it's something that's just cut and dry, is a question and answer type of thing, it's gonna have there. Now, if it's something that there's no right or wrong answer and it's a varied response, it's gonna state that as well. So here you also have the copy of the learning checklist. So if you want your child to do their own and then you evaluate them and see where you meet in the middle, then you can also do it that way as well. All right, so here you have the same thing. You have the lesson copy, and then you have the orange, which tells you that. So all challenge activities are optional, so you don't have to do that. And obviously you can really do anything you want with these. Like, you know, you can just pick these. That it really breaks down everything, especially if you are schooling multiple kiddos and you do not have time to basically do the research yourself and look and see and all that stuff. It's going to give you a frame of work of what you're looking for and the context that you're looking for. So summary of background, this case is consolidation of 4 different cases involved, and then it's going to give you the summary for you, the teacher, to have it all in your hand, so you don't have to be hunting for the answers forever and ever. You don't have to be hunting for the answers yourself. You can reflect on you can reference this right here and have enough information to be able to grade or to give feedback to your student. So here is again a summary of the decision as the case number that it was given in the assignment. So the Supreme Court ruled the Fifth Amendment's prohibition against self-incrimination means that it's detained and such and such and such. So it gives you the summary, it gives you the answers, and gives you the tidbit enough to get you going, and letting you know what you're looking for. All right, so you have that here. And again, some of these things are like an assignment that you're doing outside of your bookwork or things like that. So especially with Oak Meadow, they really keep that holistic hands-on approach throughout all their levels, all the way through high school. So here again, you see the landmark cases. It gives you the case summary, and I really appreciate that, because even if you find something and you may not feel confident that you're looking at the correct thing of what they were trying to express, then it's right here for your reference. So anyway, so that is the teacher manual. I feel like it's invaluable, especially with the higher levels. I would definitely not skip the teacher manual when it comes in upper grades. All right, even if you're confident, I just feel like it's very valuable to have. As you can see, there's a lot of tools in here that is not just like a simple answer, but giving you summaries of cases, giving you summaries of answers, example of writing. So that is Oak Meadow Civics. As I said before, you can purchase this separately as just these two together, or maybe you've already have the teacher manual and then you need the course book, whatever, that is also sold separately as well. Or you can purchase as part of the 8th grade bundle. It will come with what you need with the 8th grade bundle. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you find my channel helpful, I greatly appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with others, and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Leave me alive.